Man United win a game of football for the first time since the 25th of October when they beat Brighton 4-2 at Old Trafford. And today, the final score at Selhurst Park is Crystal Palace 1, Manchester United 2. And that's as far as the positivity goes, I'll be very honest with you. Am I happy with the win? Of course I am. I'm always happy when Man United win a game of football. But you guys know me. I don't just live in the moment. I don't just live for the moment. I always think ahead and I always think about the future. Especially looking at this first half, I'm really concerned, people. This was not a good watch today. Don't get it twisted. This was not a good watch. Don't be fooled by the amount of possession we had, which was 60% or just above. Don't be fooled by the amount of time that you saw Man United have the ball, because when we had the ball, or when United had the ball, I should say, they didn't really create anything on purpose. They didn't really create anything meaningful from open play. Because remember, they won 2-1, yes, but it was two set pieces. One of them was a Bruno. It kind of reminded me of when Man United played against Manchester City when Oli was in charge. I think it must have been 2020, just before lockdown, I think. And Bruno kind of scooped it to the front post to Martial, and he kind of pushes it in with his left foot, to make it 1-0. It was kind of similar, you know. We equalised, actually. That was the equaliser because Crystal Palace had scored beforehand through a penalty. First one had to be retaken, actually, because there was a double... What was it? What do they call it? The ball touched both of his feet, basically, Mateta. That's what it was. The ball touched both of his feet, so it had to be retaken. And on the retake, Jean-Philippe Mateta scores to make it 1-0. Manchester United then equalised, as I said, through Bruno Fernandes. That little scoop ball over the top. He finds Xerxes. Xerxes brings it down with his chest. Tight angle. Very tight angle. And he just smashes it in to the opposite side of the goal to make it 1-1. Equalises, and another set piece where Bruno Fernandes kind of just touches the ball, sets Mason Mount up. Mason Mount goes for the near post. No chance for Henderson to make it 2-1. And from that moment on, you could kind of tell that the second goal kind of broke Crystal Palace a tiny little bit. The fight was gone. The spirit was gone. It was as if to say they were thinking in their minds, well, we done all this work to be sucker punched by two set pieces. And it kind of looked like that. We sucker punched Crystal Palace. It's not like we went out there and, played them off the park. We didn't play scintillating football. We didn't play champagne football. No, we didn't. And it brings me back to my original point. Manchester United had the ball for large parts of the game, but in reality, they did not know what to start to do with it. They really didn't. When they had the ball, it was more long balls forward to Xerxes to try and see if it sticks. If not that, then it was a diag to the opposite side of the pitch. If not that, it was just going from side to side, from one centre-back to another centre-back. And it was boring at times. I'll be honest with you. It was boring at certain times watching this game. And like I said, the first half was some of the worst football I've ever seen in my life. I'll be honest with you. People that watch this game and people that watch Manchester United play and genuinely think that this system is working, because there will be people out there, don't get it twisted, people. There will be people out there that watch this game from start to finish. They're going to kick back, look at this win and go, see, the system works, told you. And they will be completely oblivious to what's happening on the pitch when you actually break it down and you watch the game properly. I'm going to be a party pooper now, people. And I don't really care if people like it or not. I'm just saying what I'm thinking. And like I said, I think ahead. I don't live in the moment, because a lot of people out there will look at this win and go, yay, we're back now, we're back. And then next week, where Manchester United play the exact same way they played today, actually, when they play the exact same way and don't win, lose or draw, they'll be pointing fingers and then start asking questions on social media. Oh, what happened? You know exactly what happened. I will forever be a hater of this system. I will forever be a hater of this formation, because it's clear to me that this manager is not going to let it go. And as long as he doesn't let it go, I'm forever going to be hating on the system. When Crystal Palace scored, I said something online and I said, people will blame Lenny Yoro for the penalty that he caused. And fair enough, you can look at the situation in isolation and say that was a mistake. And, you could say, he didn't have a good game. But who did have a good game? Nobody on that pitch had a good game, which brings me to the point that I want to make. None of these players look good in this system. None of these players look good in this formation. And you guys know what problems I have with certain players. The likes of Bruno, the likes of Dalot, the likes of Luke Shaw, the likes of Maguire when he plays. But you can't blame them when they're being put in a system that they really and truly don't belong in. Everyone in this squad, it seems, is being misprofiled. Apart from the goalkeeper, it seems. You look at the centre-back partnership. Well, partnership, it's a trio. Is Luke Shaw a left centre-back by trade? No. The only one in that defence that you could tell is a natural in that position is Matthijs de Ligt. Is he a central centre-back? Yes. Lenny Yoro, is he a right centre-back? No. Amad Diallo, is he a right wing-back? No. Bruno, is he used to playing in a two with someone else all by themselves, trying to be in charge of build-up and all of that? No, we all know that Bruno does his damage when he plays a bit more forward and when he has freedom to do whatever he wants. Casemiro, is he used to being the one to be given the sole task of breaking down play and doing it all by himself and having a huge gap in front of him and behind him? No. So again, another one who's misprofiled. Diogo Dalot, is he a left wing back? No. Mason Mount, is he an inside forward on the left? No. Brian Boumel, is he an inside forward as well on the right hand side? No, he's not. The only one that was playing in his rightful position, well, two now, is probably Xerxes and Lamens. Those are the two that are actually playing in their natural positions. All the rest are being misprofiled. And this is my big issue, because I promise you, if these players are being put in a cohesive system where nobody's misprofiled, I promise you this game could be won differently. And I promise you as well that this team would create more chances from open play than they do now. I'm yet to see a well-worked goal in this system where you sit back and you go, ooh, nah, this game was so well worked. And it's because of the system. So when Crystal Palace went up 1-0, I said that, yes, people are going to blame Lenny Yoro. They're going to point fingers and say, oh, look at his mistake. But nobody's going to talk about the fact that Ruben Amorim cannot coach. This is genuinely his job, you know, and I can't believe I'm having to say this. That's like saying a footballer has to play football, good football, to be labelled a good footballer and for people to say he had a good performance. So I can't believe I'm actually saying this about a manager. Like, I feel like I'm going crazy in my mind right now. People won't say Amorim has to coach this team out of this situation, i.e. being down 1-0. Because the only way he seems to know how to affect the game is to make like-for-like substitutions to then hope that the game somehow will change. Because one thing about this manager, he will do any and everything to preserve his precious 3-4-3 system. We've seen it against Grimsby when he brought on Mason Mount, and I was like, yes, finally, another attacking player just to put him, left wing back. Like, it's insanity, the amount of love this guy has for his system and to not budge when it comes to changing it. So again, a lot of you are going to think that I'm crazy and a lot of you are going to think that I'm negative. Well, Aaron, we just won a game of football. Well, you sit there and tell me that next game we can reproduce those two set pieces exactly the same and win against the team that we're going to play. I don't even know who we're playing next. But you sit there and tell me that it's West Ham actually at home. You sit there and tell me that against West Ham at home, we're going to replicate the exact same two set pieces and win against them. Sit there and tell me that. There's no guarantee. There's nothing tangible that we can hold on to and say, okay, we know that next game we'll be able to do X, Y, and Z in order to win a game of football. The only thing consistent about this team and this manager is that the 3-4-3 does not move. It doesn't move an inch, not for anyone. So like I said in my previous video as well, this team under this manager with this formation are going to win games. Yes, they are. But it's going to be one game a month. Well, this trend actually stopped because in November, we haven't won a single game in the Premier League. One game a week, they said. We'll be able to improve. We'll have more time to train. They'll have more time on the training pitch, Aaron. Just wait. Just be patient. Look at us now. That's our first win in December now. Let's see how many more we can get. How anybody in his right mind can sit there, watch what we just watched for 90 plus minutes, kick back and say, patience, it will click, is beyond me. Is absolutely beyond me. I do not understand it because I'm applying logic. When something doesn't work, you have to change it. You just have to. So as it stands, Manchester United are sitting in 6th, but obviously games are yet to be played in the Premier League. And we'll have to see how the table looks at the end of the match day. And obviously there's midweek games as well in the Premier League. So again, we'll have to see what happens in those games. And then we'll have to wait for United's game on Thursday against West Ham. And hopefully, that's all we can say now. It's not a certainty anymore, but it's just hope and hope and hope. And that's what people cling on to and think it's positivity. But anyway, we'll move on to that on a different day. Hopefully they can make something work. So, like I said, system, hate it. Formation, hate it. Will Manchester United win games? Yes, they will. But will they lose games and draw games and look absolutely terrible? Yes, they will. Even today, even though they won. So I can't really get into specifics with players, even though I said I do have issues with a lot of them. And some of them are not really my cup of tea. But these players are being massively misprofiled. And they are not being helped by the manager. So here we go. I can only look at this game in isolation. And I can only look forward. So yes, I'm happy that Manchester United won a game of football. But am I confident for the rest of the month? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. It's road to 20k. We're closing in on 20k, and you lot are doing an exceptional job doing all these things, which is liking, sharing, subscribing. And make sure you put the notification bell on as well. Put the notifications on all and not personalized, because otherwise you won't get a notification when a video drops. With that being said, that was it from me. So let me know what you think, and I shall see you later on, actually, because I will do a reaction to the Liverpool game, and I will do a reaction, of course, to the Chelsea-Arsenal game happening as well later on. So busy Sunday, but this is what we love. This is why we love the Premier League, and this is why I love you guys watching my stuff on my channel. Big up to all of you, and I'll see you later. Peace.